Could you say and spell your first and last name for reference?
Yep. Efrain Gonzalez, Efrain, Gonzalez, Gonzalez.
Okay, perfect. All right, so we'll just get the ball rolling. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Mexico. It's a small town between Mexicali and Tijuana. It's between highways, and I grew up there till I was 6, and then I moved here, and then I hopped around from California to Arizona to Nevada.
Awesome. And what year are you in school here?
I'm currently a junior. That doesn't mean I'm going to graduate next year. It just
all
means that I'm a junior.
And what's your major?
I'm currently undeclared, but I'm going into business, most likely information systems, with a minor in computer science.
Very cool. What do you plan on doing with that?
I plan on going to big companies, so big headers. There's people who like to do programming. There's a company called Reno. It's a gaming company. They're located in Washington, and I want to be a software programmer for them.
Very cool. Very specific. So why did you choose the University of Nevada?
Wow, that's a good question. For one, I wanted to get out of my hometown. I was tired of Las Vegas. I didn't want to go to the dreaded UNLV. And it just sounded like a good option. I wanted to get the out-of-college experience, or out-of-home experience, and the simplest choice was the University of Nevada.
Very cool. Awesome. So how long have you done theater?
I remember doing my first show when I was a 7th grader in middle school. We did Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I was Charlie, and then I was like the brown Charlie, and then there was a white girl Charlie.
Oh,
so it was really cute.
Even better.
Yeah, so we were both Charlies, and it's continued every single year, so consecutively till now.
Yeah, awesome. You've been doing it for a while then. So what is your favorite show or role that you've been in besides the current one that you're doing?
So personally, I've loved this role. I think Atticus is one of the best roles I've ever received. But since we're not including this show, I think it would have to be, I really love the show, the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. I don't know if you guys have heard about it. It's a very fun and cheesy show. You get audience participation. And I wasn't a big role. I was one of the gay fathers that one of the girls had. But with the show came a lot of fun experiences, and I love music. And
you just remember doing it?
Yeah.
When was this?
This was in 2012.
Okay, very cool. So do you have any actors who are your role models or that inspire you with what you're doing?
I think James Franco is a really good actor. I think he's very funny. He's also teaches acting classes. One of my friends actually had the opportunity to be taught by James Franco at the University of California. So yeah, he sometimes visits, and they say that he's just an amazing person, and he's very kind, and I think he's funny.
Just the stuff you want to be.
Yeah, he's
very cool.
Big role model.
Okay, so what in particular drew you to Kill a Mockingbird?
Well, I know that every year during the beginning of the semester they do auditions for plays.
Right.
I wasn't aware that they were doing To Kill a Mockingbird till the day of auditions. In the morning, this girl was like, "Yeah, I'm auditioning for To Kill a Mockingbird today," and I was like, "What?" Like, "Oh, that's today!" Like, "Oh no!" So after that moment, this was like 10 o'clock in the morning, and I went to go check the list on when to audition, and they had no dates or no times available for tomorrow, just today. And they were all full, like the ones from like 9 to from the ones from 6 to 9 were full, so there were only like 5 o'clock ones. So I was like, "Oh, I guess I'll be the first one to perform."
And you were just chill about that?
No. Oh no, I wasn't chill about it at all. I was really worried. I went home and I only had like a 2-hour break gap, and I found one of my old monologues from an old show. They're similar characters, old men, and I memorized it. I tried to perform it, and then I went and did the audition.
Yeah, obviously you have to crush it though.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
So Atticus, that's a pretty big role. Did you ever imagine yourself getting this? Did you ever see yourself as Atticus?
I did not. I actually came into the show not having an option on what I wanted to be. I just kind of went in there and just wanted to be part of the show, and I got out of it with Atticus, with the title of Atticus, and I was just very surprised.
Happy with it?
Very happy with it, yeah. I'd never thought I'd be able to play a character such as Atticus, but being in it now, I think it fits me very well.
Great. What kind of, do you see like resemblance, characteristics wise, anything like that?
Yeah, I do. At first, I just thought that character was such a knight in shining armor, very perfect, very honorable. But then as I started to act and become Atticus himself, I just found myself a lot in him. Just his honorable ways, just how he thinks, how he would treat his children, how he would react to bad news, good news, things like that. He's very calm in situations, and I consider myself a calm person during times.
Okay, that's kind of beautiful. Alright, now, seeing as you were Charlie in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, you used to lead roles. Were you surprised at all you got the lead role? Happy? What was your reaction?
I was I was actually so confused. I was like, wait, like, is that my name next to Atticus? I was like, no way, that cannot be me. And then no one was around me. Like, someone actually texted me and was like, hey, congratulations. I was like, guess I must have made the show. So I was just under the impression that I had made the show. I was like, cool, I'll probably be some person. And then I went and checked it myself, like really late at night. It was like 6, 7 o'clock at night. And I saw my name there and I was just stunned. I didn't even know who to tell. I was just like, well, here it goes.
Make the best of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, how does this role compare to your previous parts that you've played?
A lot more lines. I will be honest with you. There was countless pages. I went through my script and I highlighted all my lines, and then as I was going through, it was just kind of blinding. I was like, oh, wow, this highlighter is really all over the page. So it's definitely one of the shows where I've had most lines. Usually, sometimes it's like a song, or it's maybe 2 or 3 scenes. I had a big part one time my junior year where I was the lead too with a lot of lines, but it was not to this extent. Definitely a lot more.
Think you're ready for it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm ready for it, yeah.
Alright, what does this role mean to you?
That's a tough question. That's a very, very deep question. This role kind of symbolizes my acting career.
Okay.
Because I'm not an acting major or a theater minor, and I never thought of myself as a person who would continue to do acting during their college career. It really just solidifies the feeling of an actor inside of me. That feeling that I know as I grow up and I go and do other jobs, become CEO of some company, I will still have that love for acting and that passion to continuously do theater.
That's great. Alright. And final, why do you think the director chose to do this show this way? I've heard there's controversial parts, things like that, so why now, 2015? Do you have any opinion on it, or?
Yeah, I think Rob Vander, our director, did an amazing job choosing this play because of the significance it has. Even though this play was written in the 60s, 40, 50 years later, it still has relevance today. It is about the sadness that comes with the racial bias and the segregation that has been in our history. To this day, we believe that racism is no more, that's in the past, but racism still happens today. You still see black students get shot. You still see segregations in other countries or in states in the South, things like that. This is not an issue that has ended. Racism is still ongoing and people are still suffering. And I think Rob is bringing this show just to really show students the similarities between those times.
Do you think it'll make a difference here? That it'll make a kind of statement against racism, against everything that's going on today?
I hope so. I think a lot of people are going to go into the show and just expect To Kill a Mockingbird, but we the actors and Rob, we want to convey that message even more, and we want people to actually understand and come out of it thinking that way. So that is our goal. I'm not sure if it will happen, but hopefully it does.
Okay, so what are some of the challenges, other than lines, that you have faced performing Atticus Finch?
One of the first parts was getting into the mindset of Atticus Finch. I'm just a regular college student trying to get through school, you know, so going back to acting, first of all, I hadn't done acting in about a year. It was really hard to get into those same acting routines, such as warming up before you act, such as speaking louder, and remembering your blocking. That is one of the hardest things I had. The week went by so fast that I couldn't memorize everything. The director was telling me to do this, to say this, to move this way, and I was over here just like, okay. So it became overwhelming at times, and I got forgetful.
So some people think this is going to be controversial, and some people say it already has been. Do you think that this show pushes things too far?
I don't think it pushes things too far. I don't think it's not pushing anything at all. I think this show is the truth. This show is honesty. This is what happens in your everyday lives. You can't just say that it's too much for someone, that it doesn't happen. No, this is happening to people. This is our history. So to say that it's crossing the line, that's saying that it shouldn't be shown. I think it should be shown. This is something that everyone should see, this injustice that we've had in our history.
And how far do you think America has come since 1960, when the original novel was released?
I think it's come very far. I mean, we believe we're trying to make everything equal. We have a lot of rights. There's gay rights going on. That would have been unimaginable in the 60s. And just the progress we've made, we have so many social groups fighting for what they believe in. I think that our country so far is really pushing towards social justice, I guess. And I think we've come a long way.
Awesome, yeah. And how do you feel towards the sequel, Ghosts at a Watchman, where it was revealed Atticus is part of the KKK?
I think it's a good twist. I don't know. I find it very interesting. I have not read the novel yet. It is one that I do want to read. I didn't want this to affect my performance while I was doing To Kill a Mockingbird, because they say that it's a prequel to, that she wrote it beforehand, but then she just switched to another novel just because of the controversial issues.
So none of that is in your performance as Atticus?
Yes, I try not to think about it because it's something else.
Quite so, yes. And how do you feel the audience will react?
The audience, I think they'll love it. They'll get a feeling of To Kill a Mockingbird once again, and it'll give them memories of middle school and high school and when they had to do those summer readings that were always dreadful. But it would also pull some heartstrings, I think. They'll really take a step back and just realize the things that went on, and just how beautiful this play is and how beautiful To Kill a Mockingbird is. It's a beautiful piece in our history.
And what's the main message that you are trying to convey? What do you hope will come across to the audience the most?
There's this beautiful line in a play. The play, it's called, I'm no idealist to believe in the integrity in our courts and jury system. That's no ideal to me. That is a living, working reality. It's just a phrase that says that, yes, courts are honorable and courts do the right thing, but sometimes things it doesn't do justice. There might be some evidence that was taken out. There might be some lawyer who did something that really switched the court around. We might call this our justice department, but sometimes it doesn't bring justice. And I want people to understand that what our government says now that might be okay won't be okay in the future.
Awesome. That would be it. Thank you so much.
Yep.